Welcome back to another episode of Boom or Bust, your home for NFL Draft Talk. I'm your host, Terry, and today doing another 2018 rookie breakdown of Quenton Nelson from the Indianapolis Colts. I forgot what number he was drafted overall, but definitely top 10. And Quenton Nelson, widely debated going into the draft process as if a guard could be that good enough to go in the top 10 or number one, possibly overall and all that stuff. And so even with my Bears and everything at number 9, people were like, well, if he's there, should we take him? And so just all these different questions as far as, taking a guard, even if he was assured to be a perennial Pro Bowler and all that stuff. So anyway, drafted by the Colts at number 6 overall, and had an all-pro season. And I wouldn't say it's easy to have one. It's not easy to be an all-pro at any position. But as far as the interior line, I think it's a lot easier to project who's going to be able to stand out, especially having certain physical traits. And so watching him on tape, 5-star prospect, wasn't the best prospect I ever seen on tape, like some people were saying. But dominant, definitely had some shortcomings, but I would sign off on the top 10 all day. And so the Colts wanted to protect Andrew Luck coming off his injury and add some bounce to the run game. So anyway, we're going to go through, look at some run plays. So we're doing Marlon Mack's touchdowns because, it's hard to sort by offensive lineman. And he had the most touchdowns rushing. So we're going to go through those touchdowns and just see how Quenton Nelson pretty much affected those. So we are going to start off in the playoffs. This likes to go from late in the season to early in the season for whatever reason. And every single time this player just sucks. But anyway, so going into the end zone against the Texans, again, this is the playoffs. So Quenton Nelson's right there, and we'll get the end zone view so we'll be able to see a little bit more. So that's a perimeter play. All right, so like I said, Quenton Nelson's here, and it looked like he fell on the play. But trust me, throughout the season, he made a big impact. So they're washing everybody down. Nelson in position to seal off or take the outside, and he was going to help on the outside but end up falling. But either way, everybody was taken care of, and good lateral movement. He's not amazing at lateral movement, but good enough definitely to help out in the zone. So now we're going against the Titans here. And once again, this player wants to act up, so whatever. We're going to get the end zone view. Nelson one-on-one, then turns into a double team, peels off, gets a little bit of the linebacker, just enough so he doesn't chase. So, kind of fell off the double team there with the footwork, but you could tell it was designed for him to double here and climb up to the linebacker. And he gets mostly of that done, so gets most of the block here. Linebacker guesses the wrong hole, actually. So I give Marlon Mack credit on that. Quenton Nelson doing the best he can. I wouldn't say he was a huge impact on that play. But there's definitely some plays where you won't be able to deny much. So go to the New York Giants, going to go to the end zone view. All right, getting ready to snap. There's a blitz off the edge. Quenton Nelson stalemates this guy. I mean, even if he got off him, that was all bunched up. That was Marlon Mack again making a good decision, understanding that's where the blitz was. And so replacing where that guy went. And the line just holding up doing their job. And we got the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of red zone situations and they weren't a great rushing team. I believe they were like 20th overall in the league as far as yards per game. And And I'm sure if we went at Luck's passing touchdowns, we could see a lot. Now here's, you got a bit of a man moving going on. I mean, it's definitely a trap play. So somebody comes and picks up the trap, but you just look at 99, where he starts in this A gap, and look at where he ends up after this play is over. Quenton Nelson completely moves this guy, hands inside of him. They trap down, but this guy is washed completely down to the other B gap. And the linebackers have space to fill, but that's not Quenton Nelson's job. I mean, really, once you vacate that much area, it's on the running back to then make that play. And he does. He gets in, but Quenton Nelson pancakes that guy across the line from the A gap, from one A gap to the opposite B gap is how far he got moved. So Quenton Nelson definitely making his presence felt. All right, going to the end zone again against the Cowboys. We got Quenton Nelson here, chipping on this double team, and completely washed the double team, walked them into the linebacker. And that's a good job by both players. I mean, you definitely give credit Quenton Nelson there, but you just see him and his tackle, or they don't even have to peel to the linebacker. They just take him to the linebacker and wash everybody out. And so once that running back gets the ball, and you'll see this play might be designed to come here, but put your butt to the play. Show the running back where to go. Butt to the play. He runs right down that lane. Receivers even doing a good job on the safety. And easy touchdown. That's an easy rule to remember on run plays. Put your butt to the play, and you're doing your job. Start that over. So we're against the Texans. Going into the red zone again. Quenton Nelson at the right guard. Hands are a little wide, but he still makes 97. But to the play, but I mean, you see that whole wall. That's the whole offensive line just created a wall. And I would say, honestly, here, Quenton Nelson didn't win that play. Once it gets started, you'll kind of see. So this is clearly designed to come up through this B gap. Now, if he was able to put his butt over here and seal this B gap off, then that's all day room for the running back. Now, this player 97 does a good job of staying within that gap in the B gap. But Quenton Nelson, again, being smart, at least seals him off into that gap, creating another place for him to run. So putting your butt to the play, like I said, so then you showing the running back where the area is. So now he knows he needs to cut inside. Thankfully, everybody else washes everybody else down, and he's able to fight into the end zone that way. So still made it with 97, which was a good job by 97, but I would still say a good play by Quenton Nelson. Not like he got beat or anything. All right, so against the Titans, steps down, but to the play. And really, I mean, Quenton Nelson is not responsible for blocking two people right there. And so he's got a guy he's manned up with, and he takes care of his job. Now, the linebacker's sitting there in the hole, but you're in the red zone. With this much space in the linebacker or corner, whoever, that's up to the running back to then take care of that last guy. But Quenton Nelson, as you see, and that's Jarrell Casey, actually, so completely moves his man out of the gap and does what he has to do. Excuse me. As I said, put your butt to the play, show him the open space, and that's a good drive block. All right, so against the Oakland Raiders here, once again, going into the end zone, you see a pattern with how they get their running touchdowns. But end zone view, Nelson steps in, double teams with the center, cracks that guy down, then peels off, takes the linebacker in that mess. Not sure why the linebacker fielded right there, but whatever. That's his job. And so 92 here gets taken advantage of, cracked down, fighting on one knee, but they completely erased them out of the play. And that's what you want. That's what you want them to do. So Raiders again, going into the end zone. Quenton Nelson at the right guard. Looks like 92 again. So this time Quenton double teams, chips, then gets to the linebacker. And it's kind of a mess. You really don't want to push the linebacker that way into the play. You want to push him backwards, but it's a big dog pile. But either way, good job by Nelson. And that's what you got to be able to do, man, especially in power plays. You got to be able to help out with this chip and get to this linebacker. So good lateral movement by Nelson. And you just see the sheer power he has, man. Like you can 100% tell even when he's not in good position or, doing exactly where his hand's supposed to be. He's just really strong. Reminds me, I wouldn't say he is Larry Allen, but reminds me of that type of strength. But we got to see because Larry Allen's one of the strongest guys that ever played the game. Looks like we had a long run here. If they ever snap the ball. And so Quenton Nelson. And this is a pass. This isn't technically a run. I mean, it's not a run at all. So this is Marlon Mack touchdown off a pass play, which is cool. So we'll look at the pass pro. We saw a little bit of it. Protecting here. And that's really what it comes down to with guards is you got to be able to hold your own against the guy in front of you. That's number one. But then having the eyes, awareness, and feet to see someone needs help and to get there, arrive with a bad attitude and help somebody out. That's what help protection is all about. And that's what takes you from a good to great guard. And again, Quenton isn't the fastest, but the IQ here and the good enough feet to realize, okay, let me go help and to be able to make it and help out with that block goes a long way as well. So against the Bills again, and this might be another pass. Got Nelson, chips. And that's just good. That's good lateral athleticism right there. That's a weird play. I haven't really seen anyone do something like that. So they're clearly trapping inside, but they want to chip it just enough to give the trapper time to get over there. And so what Nelson has to do is trap this guy, but also hold this guy up. So he holds him up and traps 99. Then 95 gets trapped by the tight end. And so, again, really good lateral agility. I mean, he's not a guy who will pull a whole bunch to the edge, but, within that little box of the interior line, you see he does good work. And so that's a really nice play by Nelson and him being asked to do multiple things in one play. So that's big time right there. I like that. And I believe, this is the last play against the Jets. This might be a passing touchdown. We shall see. Might be a passing touchdown. But anyway, Nelson at the right guard. Yep, play action. Now, I like to see him move his feet. This is a screen, so he kind of throws them. Never mind. How is this a touchdown? This is a defensive touchdown. I like how this program interprets plays. But anyway, so screenplay, throws his man, gets out there. And this is what I mean. He's not the fastest guy. This isn't exactly a positive play because he's not the fastest guy. Even if that's a complete pass, that linebacker's beating him to that play. So he's not the fastest guy there. So anyway, those are the Quenton Nelson plays that we want to check out today. And again, the guy made an all-pro for a reason. I think a very powerful individual, very high football IQ, limited, athletic-wise, but I think he's going to be a mammoth for a long time to come. So go to comment sections. Let me know what you think about Quenton Nelson. Share it around, get the conversation started. Thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you for listening.